Hey Wyatt, let's do a video on pistols.
Pistols? Pistols?
No, not pistols.
Pistols.
No, striker fired pistols.
Oh yeah, striker fired pistols.
Okay.
I can do that.
Hey everyone, it's Sean with Pew Pew Tactical. And today we are out at the Pew Pew Ranch. We're talking about the top striker fired pistols. And man, I'm excited to introduce Wyatt. Wyatt, tell us about yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Wyatt, writer for Pew Pew Tactical, junior editor for Pew Pew Tactical, hunter, shooter, overall gun nut, Gemini.
Wyatt has extensive knowledge about firearms and he's a heck of an addition to the crew. So today's topic is the top striker fired pistols. Now, Wyatt and I put our heads together to come up with a list of our favorite. So this list may not be exactly like yours, but these are some of our favorites. We're going to talk about each different one from the various manufacturers, and we'll even delve into some variants on each one. We're excited to share this with you guys and get your feedback too. So not everyone is going to know the difference between a hammer-fired and a striker-fired pistol. Wyatt, could you walk us through some of those differences?
Absolutely, Sean. So with hammer-fired guns, you got your nice little hammer right back here. So once the gun is racked or cocked, the hammer's to the rear. You'll see you have a firing pin right here. Once the trigger is depressed, hammer hits the firing pin hits the primer on the bullet, gun goes bang. How the hammer-fired guns work. Now with your striker-fired pistols, you'll see there's no hammer here on the back. It's flat. There's a striker that's inside that strikes the primer, and these strikers are typically either partially cocked already or the trigger cocks those, which can actually negatively affect the trigger pull. That's kind of why a lot of the striker-fired guns have a reputation for not having quite as good of triggers as the hammer-fired guns. So you'll see you pull the trigger a little bit here, a little bit more mush there, but the good thing is last 10 to 15 years striker fire triggers have gotten a lot better.
Cool. Let's check out some of these specific ones and go through each of the models and talk about why we like them and maybe some of the things that we don't like. Hey, we're excited to share this video with you guys, but we would appreciate your support. If you would hit that like and subscribe button so it tells YouTube that the algorithm is strong with us. In exchange for that, we're going to offer you this cringy gun meme. We want to start off by telling you guys we aren't putting this in any specific order. It's not a numbered list, so to speak. These are just our top 5 picks, and we're going to include a couple of honorable mentions on top of that. But we're going to start off with the Sig XMacro. Now, Wyatt, what do you think about this gun?
The XMacro is one of the newer guns to the market. It is awesome because you still retain that micro compact size, right about 1 inch wide, but you get a ridiculous capacity of 17 rounds plus 1 in the pipe. You get a really good trigger. The stock X-ray night sights are awesome, optics ready, and you don't lose your rear sight on that.
Right.
I'm not a huge fan of the comp on the front. Some people really like that. Great thing is if you don't really like that, you can just pop on an XL slide if you got one of those, and I think that they're rolling out a version without a comp sometime soon. But overall, size, the capacity, and the performance, this one's really hard to beat.
Yeah.
And it comes in at a good price.
For sure, and it's also falls into the P365 lineup, so it gives people some options as far as their modularity, right?
Yeah, you get to use the standard fire control unit out of the P365, so you got some other stuff up here like your Spectre Comp, your regular P365, your XL, your P365X. You can run in any sort of configuration you want, short grip, long grip, and like I said, those magazines, you can use a 17 round magazines. You can buy the macro frame and put it on the XL and roll with it that way, or you can buy a whole new gun. And like I said, right around 800 bucks, 17 plus 1 and a gun that thin, pretty hard to beat, I think.
Yeah, it really is. Big capacity, you know, the comp does make a difference, and such a small package. So it's a very excellent choice for concealed carry. All right, next up is the CZ P10C. Now, I'm just finally getting introduced to some pretty cool CZ models, and I dig them. Recently reviewed the P10F Comp Ready, and that was a great gun. I was kind of around for the TS2 when we reviewed that, and I really dig that one too. But Wyatt, walk us through the P10C and what you like about it.
All right, so the great thing about the P10C, it's really in my opinion, a better Glock 19.
Right.
And there's a couple reasons why I feel that way. First one is the price. Street price on these, they run about $450 to $500, but a lot of times you catch them on sale for around $400, which is a really good deal. And I'll tell you why I feel like you get a lot of value for the money. One, I feel like the trigger is better, definitely better than the Gen 4 Glocks,
Right.
better than the Gen 5 Glocks. Really aggressive serrations on the front and the back on the
Yeah.
slide. And for me, the big draw on this gun is the grip and the ergonomics are just outstanding. So the grip texture is really aggressive. Some people might find it too aggressive. You get a huge grip on there, you're gonna get that waffle pattern kind of sitting there on your
Right.
hand, a little bit that really aggressive pyramid type checkering. But a lot of people say that this gun just locks right into their hand. And I feel that way when I grab it. And like all CZ guns, they shoot so dang flat.
Right.
I get amazing accuracy out of this gun. You got a pretty decent trigger, really good ergonomic grips, interchangeable back straps, metal sights, and you get it all for $450, sometimes less. And that's just really hard to beat for a reliable 9mm compact handgun.
That is a persuasive argument. Let's move on to something next. Hey everyone, we're having a great time telling you about these guns, and the videos are great, but Wyatt here is writing an excellent article to tell you even more information, so head over to the article on pewpewtactical.com. All right, everyone was waiting for it, and we finally gotten to the Glock. This one, we're talking about the Glock 19. Now, Wyatt, this is one of the most ubiquitous firearms in the world. Why do you think that is?
Reliability and aftermarket.
Yeah, for sure. Without question, the Glock has probably hallmark level of reliability. It's just one of those guns that whether you run it dry, dirty, whatever ammo you put through it, you put it in and run it and it will absolutely work. What are the things that we maybe don't like about the Glock?
So the first thing, it's gotta be this little guy right here.
Yeah.
The trigger on the Glock, not my favorite, especially on this Gen 4 Glock, not great. You can remedy that with some aftermarket parts, but the Glock is known for a spongy trigger. Kind of doesn't have a really well-defined wall when it breaks.
Right.
Product of its age, maybe.
Yeah.
Not a terrible trigger by any means, but not great. That's gonna be my biggest gripe.
Yeah, and as an instructor, I have seen students struggle with the low left function where they don't know where it's going to break, so they start to build up and anticipate, and they'll snap the shot and pull it down. Another one for me is going to be ergonomics. The flatness of the side of the grips, it's very blocky, and also with big hands, I get slide bite when I put my hand up under there. It's going to come back like that. But those are what you would expect with a Glock, pretty much universal. But they absolutely work, and that's why so many law enforcement agencies and militaries use them around the world. And we both own quite a few Glocks, don't we?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Glocks, but I have 5 of them, and there's
Right.
a reason for that. They just work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get out of here. Yeah. Out of my shot. Ugh, out of my shot. Okay, up next is the HK VP9. Now, I'm gonna lean on Wyatt for this one because I only carried an HK45 for a brief period of time back in the day, but this gun is quite a bit different from that.
So right here we have the HK VP9. A couple things about this gun. One, I feel like this gun has a great trigger there. Nice clean break. This is one of my favorite things about it, one of the great things. Two, we got a paddle release here. I'm a huge fan of the paddle release, ambi paddle release. You can hit it with your thumb or your finger. They do have standard button releases for people who aren't huge on the Euro paddle release. I love it though. Got some cool cocking wings here on the rear of the slide. Makes it real easy to grab that, super easy. Aggressive serrations up there and some excellent ergonomics. I think that's where this gun actually shines, is as far as everything on the table, ergonomics on this gun, can't beat them. You have interchangeable back straps and side panels. So if you got big hands, small hands, you can switch out the palm swells, get a big one, small one, left and right, kind of fit it however you want. And you have an ambi slide release here. So with all the interchangeability and the ambi controls, especially with the paddle release, this gun is great for those lefties or anyone that just really wants to get a gun that you can customize to sort of fit your grip. Kind of why I like this over a lot of the other options.
Sure, and it's got a 17+1 capacity, right?
Yes, so these originally came with a 15+1 capacity, but HK got with the times, went to 17+1, so they all ship with 17+1 now. You can get them with night sights, some come without them. You also get that legendary HK reliability and accuracy.
Yeah, good package. Now, Wyatt, one of my favorites on this list, and one that I probably have some of the most familiarity with, is the Walther PDP. We've got a full-size version here, and I was fortunate enough to be at the release event for this. We ran it over a period of a couple of days through a lot of different training that really showed us some of the capabilities. The super terrain serrations on the slide make it really easy to manipulate. One of the best striker-fired triggers in the market today, in my opinion. And then ultimately an 18+1 capacity in the magazine with the really aggressive texture on the grip. And then on top of that, look at these kind of faux finger grooves. They're not grooves per se, but they're like suggestions. And you won't see any flat surfaces on this grip. I mean, except for maybe like the front strap here, but it's really one of the most ergonomic guns, in my opinion, on the market, and super accurate and reliable too. So really strong argument with this gun for being one of the top striker fired ones. But we also know that Walther has a few different versions, don't we?
Yeah, right here we have the Walther PDP F. The F stands for female, and the reason they call it that is because they reduce the grip circumference so that you have a reduced reach to the trigger, which helps for those with a little bit smaller hands. This is a 3.5-inch version. This uses the same magazines as the regular PDP compact. They're 15-round capacity. And even though this is the F version, I feel like it should be called the PDP-E because it's rated E for everyone. Everyone that picks these up, they're like, hey, this actually feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if you got big mitts, it feels good. So don't be fooled by that F moniker, and you still get all of the same internals, accuracy, and reliability as the regular PDP. Absolutely love both of these guns.
Yeah, they're great. All right, for time's sake, we had to cut the list at 5, but that doesn't mean there aren't more that we think are top selections. We both had a couple of honorable mentions, and the one that I picked is the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 M 2.0 Metal. All right, so just briefly, some of the things that I love about this gun. The metal frame is great. I love the slide serrations, and the grip texture is super aggressive. It is like really good. On the ergonomic side, very strong. It's got good capacity, and the trigger is outstanding. I didn't like them at first, but after I started using them, it felt more like a 2-stage trigger, and I've been in love with them ever since. Wyatt, what is your pick?
So my honorable mention, it's gonna be a weird one. This is the Grand Power Q1S. For those of you who don't know what that is, which is probably a lot of you, this is a subcompact with a rotating barrel, 9mm. You can see that sweet rotating action. 12+1 capacity. This bad boy's got an excellent trigger on it. Brakes right at 90 degrees. Fully ambi controls, including an ambidextrous mag release that you don't even have to swap. These guns come in under 400 bucks. Absolutely love these things. Not a lot of people know about them. Absolute steal.
Hey everyone, we appreciate your support, and we want to ask you again to please hit that like and subscribe button below. We're going to need all that help to defeat the algorithm.
Don't forget, we have full reviews on most of these firearms, so check the links below or head on over to pewpewtactical.com.
Yeah. All right, man, this has been a lot of fun. We want to remind everyone this is not an exhaustive list. We just picked 5 with a couple of honorable mentions. This is a list that we came up with as our favorites, but yours might be different. So jump into the comments below. Tell us about the ones that we missed or what you think about the choices that we made here. I want to thank Wyatt for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun having him here, but I got to ask, is it a requirement to have a beard at Pew Pew Tactical?
Always.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.